Hello there and welcome to my chaos. So in a previous video, we looked at Disney Dreamlight Valley's latest content roadmap and all the things that we are expected to get in the upcoming updates throughout like the next year or so of the game. The things on the roadmap is that in spring 2024, it says explore Ancient's Landing, that's part of the Rift in Time expansion pass, to uncover more of its secrets and befriend a very lucky villager. Now originally I thought that this meant Mulan because it says on the free update content roadmap that it says you don't find a realm like this every dynasty, which is clearly a reference to Mulan. So originally I thought this was just another reference to Mulan, but then I realized this seems like it's probably two separate characters because it just doesn't seem like they would announce it this way if it were the same character. And I don't know why this slipped my mind because I literally talked about it. I don't know, it was either like the third or fourth video.
The Forgotten. What if the Forgotten is literally just Oswald? It's Oswald the Lucky Rabbit come back for revenge since he kind of fell off the face of the earth after, what is it, Epic Mickey?
And Disney has been on like an Oswald Lucky Rabbit kick. Like I know recently the annual pass holders in Disney World, I'm not sure about Disneyland, I'm here in Central Florida, they released a new magnet that had Oswald the Lucky Rabbit on it. I think they just added Oswald to Disney Speedstorm. So like Oswald during the Disney 100 is currently making a comeback. However, the thing with Oswald is that a lot of people don't know who he is. A lot of people. Because he's never been in any Disney movies. You don't see him in the parks. Like, who is this guy? Who is this rabbit? Why does he look like Mickey Mouse? Why are some people going crazy over him? What is this thing with Oswald the Lucky Rabbit? Now, I am by no means a Disney historian. I don't know everything about Disney, even though sometimes I like to pretend that I do. And I did work there for 7 years. I worked at Magic Kingdom for 7 years. And I've always been a Disney nerd. It's always been there. It's just, yeah, big Disney fan here, which is why I thought we can make a video today. So most of my information about Oswald the Lucky Rabbit is coming from this biography right here called Walt Disney, The Triumph of American Imagination by Neil Gabler. I've had it for about 15 years. I had it since I was like in high school. Very well loved. As you can see, it's like taped up and everything. And it is huge, ginormous book. Okay. Also amazing. I love it. 10 out of 10. Highly recommend. Most of the information is coming from this biography here about Oswald the Lucky Rabbit today. Alright, so I wrote down a whole bunch of stuff here in front of me on my computer that I am going to read through in a dramatic voice. It was all started by a mouse is a popular saying about how the Walt Disney Company came to be. But look a little closer into the company's history and you may find that it actually started with a rabbit. Oswald the Lucky Rabbit is a lesser known but important part of how the Walt Disney Company became what it is today, and the reason we have the theme parks and the films and Disney Dreamlight Valley. And most importantly, he led to the creation of the man himself, Mickey Mouse. A young Walt Disney was obsessed with the concepts and magic of animation, and in 1923, alongside his business-minded brother Roy and loyal friend and genius animator Iwerks, began creating the Alice Comedies, which were animation and live-action hybrid shorts based on Lewis Carroll's Alice in Wonderland book. Walt Disney worked with a woman named Margaret Winkler, an animation distributor, to release the Alice Comedies to the public, which became a great success. Over time, Margaret Winkler and Walt Disney disagreed about how to create the Alice Comedies. Walt Disney wanted to create a quality animation with focus on character and storylines, while Winkler wanted more gags from the animated cat in the series, Julius the Cat. Winkler ended up marrying a businessman by the name of Charles Mintz, and when Winkler became pregnant, he, Mintz, took over the company. Also, fun fact, there's a character from Up named after Charles Mintz named Charles Muntz. You know him, the backstabbing villain from Up. That guy? Yeah, that's who he's named after, Charles Mintz. So Anyway, continuing on, Mintz would go on to cause a lot of stress for Walt, asking for higher quality animations in a shorter time without proper financial compensation. Mintz often took advantage of Walt's naivety, forcing him into unfair contracts and negotiations. In 1927, Mintz began working with Universal Studios, who was looking to create a cartoon character for a new series after a 10-year animation hiatus. There were too many cats in the cartoon world at the time, so they wanted something different. Walt Disney handed over sketches of a rabbit who we now know as Oswald the Lucky Rabbit. Mintz signed an agreement with Universal Studios to produce 26 shorts featuring Oswald. Walt Disney, alongside Iwerks, created the first ever Oswald the Lucky Rabbit short titled Poor Papa. Both Mintz and Universal hated it and refused to release it. Mintz hated Oswald's design and thought that he should have a monocle. Universal hated how many gags were in the short, something Mintz had always pushed him for. Walt Disney was not going to put a monocle on him, but he decided to focus on Oswald's personality and make it distinctive. He didn't want gags to happen to Oswald. He wanted the gags to come from within him, to come from who Oswald is as a character. Walt would say, I want the characters to be somebody. I don't want them to be just a drawing. Then came Trolley Troubles, which starred Oswald as a conductor of a trolley having to cope with a series of misfortunes. Critics saw a lot of potential in this, so Walt hired a team to help him with the creation of more Oswald the Lucky Rabbit shorts, which were a massive success. In early 1928, Mintz had grown tired of arguing with Walt about money and intended to take over Walt's studio and staff and drop him. It was Iwerks who told Walt about Winkler's plan, but by then it was already too late. Walt's entire team had left for Mintz and Universal Studios for the renewal of the Oswald the Lucky Rabbit contract, a 3-year agreement. Not only this, but Mintz had granted Walt Disney 0 rights to the character that he had created. Oswald now belonged to Universal, and Walt had nothing and no one but Iwerks on his side. Also Roy and Lillian. But moving on, Walt Disney vowed he never wanted to work for anyone ever again. He wanted to be his own boss. He began making sketches of more characters on a train ride back to New York. He came up with a story about a mouse, inspired by Charles Lindbergh's 1927 flight over the Atlantic, who wanted to impress a lady mouse. This mouse was Mortimer. Walt Disney read the story to his wife, Lillian, and all she could think about was how horrible the name Mortimer was, and came up with Mickey. And thus, Mickey Mouse was born. Eventually, Oswald the Lucky Rabbit faded, as without the love Walt Disney poured into his characters, people no longer connected with the rabbit. Eventually, the entire staff that betrayed Walt eventually betrayed Mintz and left him too. In 2006, Walt Disney Studios acquired the rights of Oswald back from Universal Studios, and Oswald would go on to be featured in a video game titled Epic Mickey, a moderate success. And now here we are, in present day, Oswald is once again making a comeback, and so we are going to possibly see him in Disney Dreamlight Valley. So as we can see, Oswald, I'm gonna take my little glasses off, has some pretty rich history because, like, it's because of him that we have Mickey Mouse to begin with. Without Oswald, we have no Mickey, which means we have no Disney. We wouldn't have any of this, none of it, if it weren't for Oswald the Lucky Rabbit. So some may say that it was all started by a mouse, but those who know, it all began with a rabbit. The end. But yeah, so he's like really important as far as like Disney history goes. It also shows why there's this like feud between Disney and Universal, and why Disney people tend to like turn their noses up at Universal, because like we don't like what you did there. So what do you guys think? Do you think it actually is Oswald the Lucky Rabbit coming in 2024? I think it makes sense, especially since like we're seeing Oswald pop up a little more. He's making like his second comeback, I guess. Because like, yeah, no, I did talk about him before and how he like fell off the face of the earth. He is like making a comeback now because of the Disney 100 thing we've got going on. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed the video, feel free to give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel for more Disney Dreamlight Valley content, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!